Senate President Godswill Akpabio has reaffirmed that lawmakers in the Senate are in the Senate to serve the nation, not for personal gain. Speaking during debate on the general principles of the Electricity Act Amendment Bill, he stressed that their role is to make sacrifices that benefit future generations. Akpabio linked stable electricity to industrial growth, urging support for the proposed reforms. The bill, sponsored by Senator Enyinaya Abaribe, Abga Abia South, seeks to address regulatory gaps in the 2023 Electricity Act, criminalize infrastructure vandalism, improve sector financing, and transfer certain electricity responsibilities to state governments. He also proposes clearer frameworks for consumer subsidies, labor relations, and host community engagement across the power value chain. The bill passed second reading on Tuesday and has been referred to the Senate Committee on Power for further scrutiny. The committee is expected to report back in 6 weeks. If passed into law, the amendment could reshape Nigeria's struggling power sector and enhance federal-state cooperation. Now, this is more like, one would say, a bill that, to a large extent, will resonate with the people. But interesting also is the Senate President saying that they are not in the Senate to make money. You recall the statement once credited to the Senate President, the ego has landed. What was that ego about again?
First, I do not also know why the Senate is not here to make money, how to do with that particular
electricity bill.
In all honesty, I think His Excellency, the Senate President, there are some expensive jokes that he really put into
He cracks.
Yeah, but that's not supposed to be at that time. Remember when Ojukwu Bianca was being screened and she was being asked questions, he had to interrupt
just to tell her that she's so beautiful.
So I think that as the leader of the Nigerian Senate, there are certain things that he should not say. The Senate is on record. They are the most pampered senators in the world.
Nigerian Senate.
Nigerian senators or Nigerian
National Assembly.
Most pampered. They got furniture allowance. Every day is calculated for newspaper allowance, tea allowance, this allowance, office
allowance,
everything.
office allowance.
In fact, at the time, they choose the type of Prado Jeep.
Even for their house upkeep.
They choose the type of Prado Jeep and all of that. Even when there were pushback that why don't we patronize companies like Innocent Motor to supply you a Nigerian road, it's a Nigerian car. This other company in Ogun State to supply you people vehicle.
Meanwhile, don't forget there was a ban on importing cars in Nigeria.
All fell into deaf ears. They went ahead and allocate. And in fact, what they also did to themselves was to put their money into what they call first line charge. The executive has no power to hold it. Even if there is crisis between them, their money comes straight to them. They preside over their own budget. And you will tell me that the Senate is not here to make money? We remember when the outburst came out and one senator said they usually give them constituency project according to their ranking.
That was Ned Woko that said that.
Yes.
He said it's a principal office,
yes.
A ranking senator.
Yes. This is what we get, and you tell me Senate is not here to make money?
How much did he say he was getting again as
500 million? Yes. As constituency project, where others were saying no, whether they got 100, some said they got 200,
yes.
And he was now making the...
And they are not making money.
Yeah, so, again, don't bring this aspect. It's a fine bill being deliberated upon. Don't bring comic things to... Now, having said that, I think we needed some of these interventions like yesterday. One of which is the takeover or the privatization of the electricity industry. Where are the infrastructure investment? The people who took over it, what are they invested? In my place, we bought our transformer. The transformer went bad. We are on what they call a band A. We paid for our transformer. Anytime there is an issue, in fact, in that area, we have what they call the electricity committee. We put security. We did everything. In fact, when the simple thing as fuse goes bad, we contribute and buy fuse to put there. This is a private business.
And still pay the electricity officials to come and install.
We pay. In fact, if you are many a time now, they have come around to they check, and I wonder. I say, I'm using prepaid. They said they want to check. They will bypass. No, there's a way they now check how much I have been loading and all of that. So we need to question the ability and the capacity of the people who took over the electricity companies, whether they took over it as friends of government at that time, because I have not seen major investment as to say, for example, maybe they usually zoning, maybe say this area is zone A. What infrastructural investment have they invested in zone A? Have they changed? In fact, the area where I had my poultry farm, their pole fell. It's now going to almost about 96 hours, about 4 days now. No sight of anyone. And I'm sure that those people in that area would have to contribute to buy another pole, because it fell as a result of the rainfall, something they had. So I think this bill is needed like yesterday. I think they also need to go further to check the capability of those who took over. Because I learned that the laws that privatize some of these companies are so stringent that the federal government cannot cancel. So clauses that were inserted cannot, for example, wake up and say, look, on our table, ABC has not been able to meet up. And based on that, we are going to revoke the license that was issued. It's not there.
How does so the government enter, sell off a major part of his sector without, and lose his authority? Yes. Its authority to revoke.
Yes.
When they are underperforming.
You cannot.
Even in face of underperformance.
Yes. So I think that was what held the Buhari's government, that they couldn't do anything regarding that. So I think we needed this bill like yesterday to begin to see how to bring in more investment. If it's to open up. As I was coming in, I was a friend I met as I was coming into the studio, Dr. Fineface. They were involved in, these are private individuals. They were involved in an electricity project in Delta State, a community far off, with his partners from the UK and Netherlands. They were able to install a mini grid in a community, running full. It was at the point of that, they said the World Bank and others came for intervention to say that for every connection, they are going to pay $400. For every connection, they will give back $400. But I think federal government should begin to look at areas where we can say, for example, there are communities after the river that PhD or any other cannot reach. Can we begin to have solar? Yes. People will say, okay, I'm taking over 200 communities. They have the power to and infrastructures to take over that particular place. Let them run it. It is not this crazy idea that the purpose of serializing this into bands, you now said we would have light for a minimum of 20 hours. That was the agreement when they were
increasing the tariff.
No, yes, increasing tariff and also putting us on various bands. The agreement was that those on band A would have light for a minimum.
And you're on band A?
Yes, I'm on band A.
How many hours do you have light?
In fact, for the last 3 days, I have not had light in my house for more than 4 hours.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Band A.
I'm saying it, yes. In a Lelewon, I'm live on TV. for the past 3 days. In fact, when you go to PhD, once you go to PhD X handle, you should go there, browse those ones. You will see that as at yesterday, they dropped a message to say they call it shortfall. My area, which is a Bristol feeder, was listed as shortfall for 7th and 8th, and then they said status restored on the 9th. As at the time they put that, light was not restored. The light later came. I'm not even sure it's up to 4 hours. And during that time, the rain was about, the light went back. They took off the light again. Since then till I left home this morning, there was no light. And so these are issues we need to begin to look at. Is PhD capable of handling Rivers, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, and some part of Delta also? Are they capable? We need to begin to ask these questions. And it also called, because the Electricity Act that the president signed into law also allows state governors to invest in electricity. And so we should begin to also question our state governors. What are they doing? We have one in Abia State. Is it Geometrics or something? The private company run electricity in Abia State. And from the feelers I have got, they are doing perfectly well. It's a private company. And so I call on the state governors, and I think that individuals who have capacity, who can take over an area or even an estate, should be allowed to run those places. And so for me, this bill is timely.
Right.
Though, like I said, we needed it like yesterday. But still, it's still something that we should look forward to see how to get the best out of it.